This week we're meeting a new set of Charlie's Angels. We're getting our knives out, we're going to experience some human nature, and we're going to meet a Nightingale. I'm Van Connor.
And I'm Becks Perfect, and this is Offscreen, your 7-day guide to everything movies. Boom. Hello and welcome to Offscreen. Welcome to another week of movies. And you know what? I think it's going to be a goodie this week, don't you?
I think so as well. I'm very excited about this week.
I'm excited. There is one movie that I think has received quite a lot of mixed reviews from critics, which I think will be interesting for us to discuss.
I think I'm being charitable, if we're being honest.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Okay. But actually, we've got a murder mystery happening, haven't we? We've got loads of stuff. Fans of Cluedo, you'll want to stay tuned to this.
Oh, God, yeah.
Let's kick off with our first movie of the day. What is it, Van?
So Human Nature, which is a new documentary from Adam Bolt. This is a documentary about CRISPR and genetic editing. Are you familiar with sort of CRISPR technology?
No.
So CRISPR is this whole new field of science that basically means, you know how DNA works? If you break it down, it's basically, like Gattaca. It's basically the Gattaca code.
Okay, yeah.
In fact, Gattaca actually appears in this movie, like movie Gattaca.
Very meta.
Gets shown in this movie at one point. Because I was waiting the whole way through thinking, I wonder when they're going to drop a nod to the movie Gattaca in here. And they do. True to form, they absolutely do.
No Ethan Hawke?
No Ethan Hawke.
Damn it.
They do include Jane Smith, which makes me very happy.
Okay.
And Xander Berkeley and Blair Underwood. Big fan of Blair Underwood. LA law guy. Anyway, we're 90s kids. So this is about the idea that this technology can basically take all that code of your DNA, the Gattaca, the G, the A, the T, the C, and basically it can work like a search function for your genetic code, and they can actually rewrite specific portions, whereby obviously we've never had that ability before.
Yeah.
And
Sounds very complicated.
It is, but they've come up with quite a nice way of laying it out for you and explaining it and taking you through the process.
I remember him saying, remember this word, CRISPR.
We've never had the ability to change the fundamental chemical nature of who we are, and now we do. And what do we do with that?
David's doctor told me, just hold on, there's something coming.
You can actually use CRISPR to change DNA. You can actually do it.
We could engineer a single gene that could potentially make us all more muscular. But should we make that universally available?
So it's not for everyone. It's quite dry and sciencey, but I'm a science nerd anyway.
Is this something that's going to go on at like the Curzon or somewhere like that?
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
not. This isn't a big why. You're not going to find this in your local View cinema, are you?
I don't think so, unless there's violence and they ban it. But other than that, it's a low blow. I'm sorry. But no, it was interesting. I found myself. I mean, I'm interested in this stuff anyway, and I can't remember how it is that I came to know about CRISPR in the first place. It might have been through another documentary a couple of years ago, but it's a subject that comes up a lot, especially in recent years with how to treat certain diseases and things like that. There's still a lot of debate about eugenics and things like that. And that is where this gets really interesting. Okay. Because they start talking about eugenics.
Do you know what? I think I'm going to get brain freeze in this. I just don't know if... sometimes I'm trying to think of a decent kind of comparison of a movie where there's a lot of clever stuff going on, but actually, does it make you work a little bit too hard rather than enjoying?
No, it's not one of those, no. But as far as the ethical side of this goes, the ethical side does come up through the eugenics argument. It's because we as a society so closely associate eugenics and the idea of perfectly manufactured people. We associate that with the Nazis because that was their thing. And as numerous scientists point out in this, that is the most idiotic thing you could do.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work that way. You're associating one bad apple with an entire field of science.
Okay.
And other questions like if we had as you might have heard in the clip, if you had the ability to create a gene that just made everyone muscular and buff, would you? And would you make that available to everyone?
Does it also include if you could eradicate illness?
Well, that's the primary focus of CRISPR. That's where it comes from first, and the film goes in through that angle. That's kind of our first foray into the subject is through the treatment of genetic disease.
Yeah, and I'm sure I don't know if the storyline goes down this, but then there's going to be people out there who will profit from people's illnesses and things like that. So
exactly,
do they? There's that huge argument, I suppose, as to whether or not that's the right thing to do.
And funding and capitalism also a big part of this. The idea of CRISPR, if made affordable or even free, could be a whole world-changing thing.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what I think we'll agree is one of the best films out for a while.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. This is... just before we do that,
Go on.
thumbs up, thumbs down for Human Nature?
Oh, Human Nature. A thumb and a half from me, but I'm a science geek.
Okay.
So
For non-science geeks, probably just a
non-science
thumb.
geek, a thumb.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
just a thumb.
Not a painful thumb, just a thumb.
Not a sore thumb. No.
Not a sore thumb, no. Okay, so yeah, if you are, I think this next film, if you're a fan of Poirot, Miss Marple, Murder, She Wrote, have a penchant for the game of Cluedo, this will be right up your street, am I right?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I suspect foul play.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that accent.
I know, the accent's amazing. So this is Knives Out, and it will keep you guessing from start to finish.
Hell
so
yeah.
the story follows the demise of a famous and wealthy novelist. He's found dead at his mansion the night of his 85th birthday, and a couple of local detectives and a suave private investigator.
Can we say his name? Because it's the best name ever.
Go on, you
his
say it.
His name is Benoit Blanc.
Benoit
Benoit Blanc.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
He tries to piece together who could possibly be behind this demise, and everyone's a suspect because his entire family is in town that fateful night.
Thank you all for getting together like this. It isn't legally necessary, but I thought because you're all in town and some of you are leaving soon.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to gently request that you all stay in town until the investigation is completed.
Well, he's gently requesting, but I'm gonna have to make that an order. No one move until we figure this all out.
What? Can we ask why? Has something changed?
No.
No, it hasn't changed, or no, we can't ask.
Mr. Stevens, you may continue.
Twists, turns, clever writing,
Yeah.
excellent acting. It's got it all, hasn't it?
It's got it all, but I think they've held back. There's been surprisingly little talk about how outright funny this film is.
Yes, it's very funny.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was absolutely terrific. I've never seen Daniel Craig be this funny, actually.
I was a bit nervous about Daniel Craig at the beginning, but actually really warmed to him because his entrance as Benoit Blanc is a bit like you're like, okay, I'm watching Bond, right? And he's just sat there and he's flipping a coin and he's tinkling the piano, yeah. And then suddenly he speaks and you're like, it's a very distinctive Southern drawl that he gives, and you're like, where is that right?
I have eliminated no suspects.
And and as you carry on, it fits perfectly because it's so ridiculous. This is a throwback to that kind of heyday of these TV shows, these kind of films, the 1970s, 1980s, and it does it with such love and homage that I think it's a really positive thing. You gave it 5 stars.
I did.
Yes.
Very rare to get 5 stars out of me.
Not as rare as it is to get 5 stars out of me, and this didn't get 5. This didn't get 5 stars from me.
Oh,
so
man.
I'd probably give it once a year. I'll give it 5 star. This I enjoyed. Doesn't hit the kind of heights of. What did I give a 5 star to this year? Well, I gave a 5 star to Blade Runner 2049 last year, year before.
That was
2 years ago.
2016?
Yeah, there's got to be something, I think, for me that just kind of hits your emotions, your senses, your everything has got to be all in tune, and it's probably this for me very much on the laughter scale was up there.
So I mean, going through the cast, because there's a hell of a cast.
Oh
on
my
this.
goodness,
and,
yeah.
And, right, I said this to Daryl Morris last night. If you, no matter who you ask, you could ask the most film-brained person in the world. So you genuinely ask me, and I'll forget people.
Yeah.
So Jamie Lee Curtis, Don Johnson, Christopher Plummer, Michael Shannon, Anna de Armas, Catherine Langford. I said Chris Evans as well. Lakeith Stanfield, Daniel Craig, obviously. Frank Oz. Did you know it was Frank Oz in there?
As who?
He's the guy reading out the will. That's Yoda.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's
You've missed
Yoda,
one.
man.
You've missed
Who
one.
have I missed?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Toni Collette I missed as well. No, I
Yeah,
started
Toni
with Jamie Lee
Collette.
Curtis, but I missed Toni Collette.
Oh, okay, there we
so
go.
I missed one of the two every
And
time.
I actually really love Toni Collette's like Valley Girl.
Yeah. Oh, she's so good. I was a very big fan, actually, though, of Chris Evans. I thought this was a real departure for him. And
Yes.
apparently was cast on the back of a stage play that he'd been in that Ryan Johnson had seen.
Yeah.
We need to talk about Ryan Johnson as well,
Yes.
who took so much flack on his last film.
Yeah.
Obviously, that was The Last Jedi. Because, fanboys and trolls are
Do you know
idiots,
what?
but-
I loved The Last
I
Jedi.
did.
I have no idea what the hate is for that. And he is such an accomplished director. It's it is brilliant to kind of see him do this and do something completely different. And he loves this genre.
Oh, clearly, there's
Yeah.
a lot of love and reverence on there. There are things like, I think they say at one point, actually looks like the house from Cluedo.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gothic. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's over the top. It's grotesque. The characters are bizarre. and it all works fantastically. So if you're this weekend, it looks like to be a wet and windy one, I would say go and spend it cozying up at the cinema watching this particular movie, because with Knives Out, it is brilliant.
No, absolutely.
I'll give it two thumbs up.
Two riveting thumbs up from me as well.
Yeah.
Well, from something fun and frivolous and flighty to something a lot darker and grimmer next. We're going to talk about The Nightingale, which is in cinemas this week as well.
Is this a Japanese horror or something?
No, funnily you say horror.
Yeah.
Because it's written and directed by Jennifer Kent, who a few years ago made The Babadook.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
It's The Babadook.
Exactly. Who didn't? The Babadook was great.
It's Babadook.
Babadook?
Yeah, it's Babadook.
Babadook?
2 O's in there, I think.
Oh, okay. All right. Everyone always says it to me as Babadook.
Well, I've always had it said to
Like
me as
as in
Babadook.
quack duck.
Yeah, weird. Anyway, let's talk more about this film
Anyway,
and not that one.
from the duck to the Nightingale. So this is This is still a horror movie, but less of a conventional horror movie. This is more of a psychological horror movie, sort of pitched as a sort of icy revenge period piece drama thriller with a survivalist element.
Wow.
Okay, it stars Aisling Franciosi. I think that's how you pronounce her name, as a young Irish convict in a British penal colony in 19th century Tasmania that is overseen by Sam Claflin, who is in 2 movies we are reviewing back to back this
Yeah, and
week.
I'm sure very different in both movies. Okay, fine.
There's a lot of spit and scenery chewing. Anyway. So he does that in one at least. Basically, he and his corrupt men kill her husband and newborn baby, and then gang rape her, and then leave to go off on one of their military expeditions. She obviously decides, I'm going to go after him. I want me some revenge. But along the way, she has to take a guide, Billy, along the way for her, who's one of the locals. This is like Tasmania, so this is during Britain's very harsh period of colonialism. And it gets a little trippy.
We're all alright. We're all alright. We're all alright. We're all alright. We're all alright! We're all alright! We're all alright! We're all alright!
So
a nice easy rom-com then.
Yeah, just like Mandy was. Remember Mandy? Yeah. It's like that without the chainsaw fights.
Okay.
This is brutal. This is grim.
Yeah, it doesn't really sound like one up my street.
Do you remember The Revenant?
Yes.
Right. Do you remember how by the
How
end
little
of the...
people spoke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Remember, like at the end of The Revenant, you really just want to put your coat on and like your scarf and bundle up really, because you felt chilly and cold.
Yes.
So this is the worst I have felt that since The Revenant.
Oh wow.
And the worst I had felt it before The Revenant was Ravenous.
Okay.
So
you're getting so it's a good. There's that immersion.
There is that immersive quality. The star, as always, Jennifer Kent, she just crafts atmosphere like nobody else.
Yeah.
I think Sam Claflin, he's really good in this.
He does. When he picks the right movies, we are going to talk about him in the next movie that we're going to come on to as well. When he picks the right movies and he does it well, he's a very, very good actor.
Indeed.
He can really throw his hand to a lot of different things. But yeah, I'm good. It's good to see that he's in this. I think he's still waiting for his star turn. I think is the problem.
Definitely. Do you know who else is in this?
Go on,
though?
then.
He's in 2 for 2 in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Damon Harriman,
Okay.
who was in Judy and Punch last week. You remember the guy I said was Charlie Manson in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? He's in this. Same kind of just salivating, nasty performance.
Yeah.
And I'm intrigued by this guy. I'm really intrigued to see what he comes out with next. Like, this guy's got a huge star turn in him somewhere.
Amazing.
I'm
As a
counting the
good
days.
character actor, would you say?
I think so. In fact, because we've been talking about the guy earlier, there's something of the Robert Carlyle about him.
Oh.
So I could absolutely see that. I think he's waiting for that character role. That will come along sooner or later.
Oh, that would be interesting. Yeah, nice.
But as I say, the Nightingale, it's not for everyone. It is about half an hour too long, because it's about
Annoying.
2.25 hours.
Oh.
It's long. I will say as well, this had
2.25
walkouts.
or 2 3/4?
2.25.
Okay.
It did get walkouts when it was shown at certain film festivals.
By the
Particularly
squeamish?
over people who took serious objection to some of the graphical sexual content of it. Bear in mind, this features 2 rape scenes before you get to the end of the first reel.
Okay.
So, this ain't
it's
for
not going to
the
be easy
faint-hearted.
watching.
It's
no.
not
No,
easy
but as long
watch.
as it's not done in a gratuitous way and it's there to support the story, you know, it's justified.
Exactly. Jennifer Kent herself has turned around and justified and saying, "Look, I'm sorry, this is not a film to be comfortable in. The reason those scenes are there is they aren't gratuitous. They are to show you how brutal and horrifying this thing. And it is apparently based on real attitudes at the time and things that locals have to understand. Look, this really represents what happened. This represents how they behaved."
Okay.
Absolutely.
So, in terms of grim thumbs up, what would you give it?
I'll give it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, okay.
Actually, thumb and a half for the
Thumb and
length,
a half,
actually. Thumb and a
okay.
half for the length.
Okay,
Yeah.
and no walkouts.
No walkouts
No
from me.
walkouts. Okay, fine. All right. Well, maybe there will be some walkouts if Van's got anything to do with it. With the next film, which is Charlie's Angels.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. You gave me the vibe that you didn't enjoy this.
I loved it. I'm an Angel fan.
Oh,
man.
okay, fine.
I'm
all right.
about Lucy Liu, My Girl Drew, and Cameron D.
Unfortunately, we're 20 years too
I
late.
know. We're 20 years too late. Although, we're not technically. We'll get to it. Go on.
Okay, well, this is an interesting one. It's had a load of mixed reviews, okay? So Charlie's
yeah.
Angels, I feel like I'm announcing this at the cinema. Written, directed, and starring Elizabeth Banks in an Elizabeth Banks film.
That's it, because she's a producer as well. When
goodness.
it bombed in the US its opening weekend last week, she turned around and said, "Do you know what? If you're going to have a bomb, at least have your name on it 4 times over."
Yeah,
To which you go,
fair play.
Fair, Liz,
fair play. To give you guys a rundown of this, the story follows a brilliant scientist who invents something called Callisto, which is a sustainable energy source that will revolutionise the way people use power. And there's a slight flaw in it.
It's an art reactor. That's what it is.
Yeah, it looks like it. There's a slight flaw in it because it's not refined enough to not cause harm if used incorrectly. So Callisto essentially falls into the wrong hands. The Angels are sent in to try and retrieve it before it's used as a weapon of mass destruction.
I'm kind of getting this, you know, you guys are like lady spies, and I just need you to explain who this guy is and why was he shooting at you?
Oh, you. He was shooting at you.
At me?
The shooter's a ghost. Your file says that you are a systems engineer on the Callisto project.
You know about Callisto?
We know about a lot of things. That you graduated top of your class at MIT, that you take Krav Maga on Sundays, you ride your bike to work, you think yellow is one of your colors when in fact it's no one's. That you could be dating a lot more if you played up those cheekbones in your online profile pictures. What we don't know is why someone wants you dead.
I enjoyed this.
As did I. You know what I really enjoyed about it?
Well, I can guess.
Well, not just Ella Balinska. I'm not going to lie. I fell madly in love with Ella Balinska during
She's
this
not done
movie,
anything before, has she? This is like a
few British things.
A few British things.
Sort of, lower tier British things.
Yeah.
Lower tier on the international stage.
She's like a glamazonian in this. She's
beautiful. When they cast the X-Men, when Marvel finally do the X-Men, she's Storm. She is my fantasy pick for Storm.
Yeah.
Just because I would just keep the accent as well. Like, I don't care. Make Storm British. It works. Anyway, my whole thing, the thing I really loved about this is they did the very clever thing they should have done with Ghostbusters.
Go on.
Which is take everything that came before and just put it into canon. It is a shared universe. This is simply the next iteration.
Yes.
So the 70s Angels happened. Cameron D's happened.
Yes.
The 2011 ones are still forgotten about by just about everyone.
Yeah.
But all the Angels are basically
but they're
a franchise.
Acknowledged. Yeah, they're
franchise,
acknowledged.
aren't they?
Yeah, and this is the thing, and they did that in a really fun way with Patrick Stewart, and they were just doing it as kind of a send-off for his retirement in this movie, and it was like a throwback, which got a lot of laughs in our screening, and it was really nice. Which is why I did hear a few laughs in our screening throughout this. Not laughing at, but laughing with.
True.
And yet we come out and there's loads of snooty reviews that are damning this. So my advice, if you are going to think whether or not to go and watch this film, is it is all about girl power. It was fun, it was glossy, it wasn't too overly girl power, but it was about girl power, and it was continually pushing the message that girls really can do anything if they put their minds to it. All very positive.
Can I counterpoint that a little bit?
Go on.
I think they overtipped the hand with that one because all but 2 male characters in this film are just played as foaming at the mouth caricatures. I mean, literally the first line in the movie. There's some really ropey stuff specifically with the men.
Don't go all #U2 now.
No. I mean, like when they have Nat Faxon in a scene and he's having a meeting with Naomi Scott, and you're like, literally every word out of this character's mouth is like a parody of what you think a sexist chauvinist pig sounds like.
And how many years have we watched movies
Fair.
where...
Fair.
Yep.
Absolutely fair.
Yep.
Just saying.
Okay, that's
in
fine.
the interest of balance.
Yeah,
But
fine. Look, this movie isn't going to win any Oscars anytime soon, right? Let's put it that way. So let's
Not winning Best Song?
manage your expectations
No
a
Best
little
Song?
bit. No best song on that. But very quickly, just to run this through with you, it's got empowerment, it's got brains, it's got brawns, it's got attitude. Yes, it's formulaic, it's a bit generic in parts, but when you're watching a movie like Charlie's Angels, it's supposed to be a bit silly.
Yeah,
you know,
I had
so
fun.
take it with a pinch of salt. Go and enjoy yourself. This is one of those movies that you'll watch once, you'll enjoy it for what it is. You won't watch it again, but that's absolutely fine. Kristen Stewart, Ella Balinska, Naomi Scott, Elizabeth Banks, Patrick Stewart, Sam Claflin, all fine in
Jaimin
this.
Hunsu.
Yeah.
Love me some Jaimin Hunsu.
Yeah, exactly. And they're all fantastic in this. And they play to the jokes. There's a brilliant Ruth Bader Ginsburg line.
There is, yes.
Towards the credit
There's
sequence.
a great Batman line,
There's
actually.
a great Batman line in this. You know, they know that they're taking the mick out of this, and
They know
to be
the
honest,
audience.
they know the audience. The critics that reviewed
They
this,
don't know the
I'm not
critics.
sure if they know that the audience that's going to go and watch this. So don't judge it too much. I'm going to give it a good 1.5 stars. I quite enjoyed it.
1.5 stars, me thumbs, but
Yeah.
I'd go with the same, to be honest. I will say though as well, I have never enjoyed Kristen Stewart this much in any film ever.
I've never seen her play as sexual a character in this as she does in the first opening pre-credit sequence.
Very true.
Yeah. Welcome back to Off Screen, and if it is wet and windy outdoors and yet you're not planning on going to the cinema this weekend, then don't worry, we've got you covered for the whole week, in fact, here on the small screen. And we're going to kick off on Saturday with a monkey of a film.
A monkey of a film. Oh, I love it. First of all, I love this movie. It's a hell of a week for movies on TV. We got some bangers on here and 2 Michael Douglas movies.
Whoa.
Oh, not 1 but 2. That's how you know you've been spoiled. So,
yes.
He's not in the first one though. So on Saturday, 5 stars, 6.25. One of my favourite movies ever. It is Wolfgang Petersen's 1995 medical thriller Outbreak. Starring
It's a monkey.
It is. Starring Dustin Hoffman, Morgan Freeman, Kevin Spacey, Renee Russo, Donald Sutherland, and it is, of course, the now iconic movie of, the monkey that spreads the virus that gets into the small town in the US, and Dustin
It's a monkey of a movie.
A monkey of a movie.
Why in God's name would you keep me out of there?
It's a civilian matter, Sam.
That's bull.
CDC is on it. Let them do their job. Besides, we don't have a charter.
Oh, the charter, Billy. It's not about a charter. People are dying. It's about you being a doctor. It's about that sacred oath that we took, remember? Billy, we've been friends for 20 years.
Yes, we're friends, Sam, but I'm also your boss. I run this outfit. It's not run by committee. You do what the hell I say do. I'm your boss. I have my boss. Is that clear to you?
Yeah, get your boss on the phone. Call up McClintock. Tell him to put me on a plane before the 2 of you kill a lot of people.
Hoffman and Freeman on fine form there.
On fire.
On fire.
Sounds like there was an outbreak or something.
I love this movie. This movie, interestingly enough, had a rival movie being made at the same time called The Hot Zone, and that was going to be directed by Ridley Scott. That has only now just been turned into an actual cable series for National Geographic. Stars Juliana Margulies, I think, from The Good Wife.
Yeah.
She's in there. I saw it recently. Not bad, but it ain't no Outbreak.
No.
Outbreak is brilliant, and it also features one of my favourite FUs in history.
Go on.
But it's Dustin Hoffman in a helicopter. I can't repeat the line.
Damn it.
But, it literally is an FU. But, okay. So that's your medical thriller for the week. So I think we'll shift it up for Sunday.
And then we got kind of is it a musical comedy, this next one?
Musically styled.
Yeah.
But it's more of a swinging 60s.
I don't think I've seen this, but I do know it stars Ewan McGregor in it.
It does.
And Nicole Kidman? No.
No, that's the other musical.
That's the other one. Wait, no, Renee Zellweger?
Renee Zellweger. That's the one.
There we go. I knew it was one of them. Down with Love. I'm quite annoyed that I haven't seen this, and I'm glad that it's out on Paramount on 9 o'clock on Sunday because I can watch it. I heard really good things about this when it came out.
Well, when it came out, it got very bad reviews, but people who actually saw it, audience members, liked it.
Yeah.
Ewan McGregor's accent is terrible in it, but the film itself is actually really fun, and it is as a sort of an almost parody or satire of something like Mad Men now.
Yeah.
That sort of battle of the sexes in sort of Mad Men's version of the 60s, played with a sort of musical tinge, and directed by Peyton Reed, who gave us Ant-Man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked it. I remember, I can very vividly see the poster of this in my mind, and I do remember it. It looks it's a bit like not Sabrina. What's the one that there was like all these like 1960s kind of
Styled ones.
Yeah, films like that. I don't know.
I'll give you a taste.
My book instructs women that love is a distraction.
That book is ruining my life. All our wives are giving us trouble. You have to solve this catch. Squash her. All women want love and marriage. I'm going to write the expose of the century, and I am going to make Novak fall in love.
Wow. So it's got the energy. It's got the
there
energy.
we go. That's it. Yeah.
David Hyde Pierce from Frasier is terrific in this. You know, Niles from Frasier.
Yeah, Niles.
He's brilliant in this. Sarah Paulson as well. Before we all knew who Sarah Paulson was.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, well, moving swiftly on.
Yeah.
Monday is a treat.
Yeah.
Now, if you start your week on a Monday, started with Arnie. The last action hero is on 5 Spike at 9 o'clock. Okay, so I can now see myself aged God knows what going into the video store to get this out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I now look back on this and just think I was the kid in that movie.
Yeah.
Like I was the kid in the sort of baseball jacket,
Yeah.
sat watching the Arnie movie, munching his popcorn.
Because this is like
Georgia.
He just kind of goes through all these like action sequence, sort of toys and.
It's a parody of every. It's a satire of pretty much every action staple of the early 90s, up to and including what happens if you have a kid who knows where the bad guys live because he's seen the movie.
Yeah.
And he simply tells the copper.
The bad guys are in there.
You know something? I think you should be wearing this.
I don't think I've earned it yet.
You don't understand. You just solved the entire case. You just revolutionized the entire history of police training. I mean, all these years at the academy, studying human character, psyche of the terrorist, fingerprint analysis, all the courses that I've taken in surveillance, hostage negotiation, in criminal psychology. I mean, all I had to do is just drive around the neighborhood and point my finger at the house and say, the bad guys ain't there.
You think you're funny, don't you?
I know I am. I'm the famous comedian Arnold Braunschweiger.
Schwarzenegger.
Gesundheit.
Arnold Braunschweiger, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
He has such fun parodying himself in this.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's the thing. Isn't that a mark of a good sport?
Well, this movie did nearly kill Sony. It's worth noting, but it's one of those that's been appreciated more as time's gone by.
Yeah. No, okay. It's a great one to watch. If you haven't seen it before, I definitely would recommend it. Tuesday, moving on. Oh, ready for a weepy?
Oh. We mentioned Ant-Man, like Peyton Reed directed Ant-Man. Ant-Man reads this book in Ant-Man and the Wasp and cries in the bath.
All the links, the Easter eggs, it's all there. The Fault in Our Stars is on Film 4, 6:25. I really enjoyed this. I remember watching this. I think I watched this on a plane again. And
big mistake. Too public. Too well lit.
Yeah, too well lit. Didn't even watch over a night flight. And this, it's so is it Shailene Woodley that's in this?
Shailene Woodley and Ansel Elgort.
Yes, and they both suffer from.
They both have cancer, don't they?
From cancer, but she has one which causes breathing problems, and I'm not sure what cancer he has. But they go to like a cancer support group together, and they kind of fall in love, and it's their story, and it's it's quite heart-wrenching.
I like you, and I like hanging out with you and everything, but I can't let this go on any further.
Why not?
Because I don't want to hurt you.
I wouldn't mind.
No, you don't understand.
I do understand.
No, you don't
I know what
understand.
you're trying to say, and Hazel, I'm saying I wouldn't mind. It'd be a privilege to have my heart broken by you.
Gus,
Broken
I'm a
by
grenade. One day I'm gonna explode, and I'm gonna obliterate everything in my wake, and I don't know, I feel like it's my responsibility to minimize the casualties.
I really feel for my boy Ansel in this one, man. Oh, he just wants the chance. Oh, I could weep for that guy in this movie.
Yeah, it's
really
a good one, and this is the one that got all the ladies like of a certain age kind of who loved the book, watched the film, fell in love with Ansel Elgort.
My girlfriend at the time was a very big fan of the book.
There we go.
And the movie actually as well. I knew nothing of the book, saw the movie, bawled my eyes out. I'm not sure. When's that
It's
on?
your Marley and me moment.
It was. So that's that was a 6:25 on Film 4 on Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. Now whizzing on through Wednesday, we've got Wall Street, Paramount, 10 o'clock. The ultimate money, money, money. I love this film.
Yeah. Money never sleeps, pal. Just made 800,000 Hong Kong gold. It's been wired to you.
Play with you. You done good, but you gotta keep doing good. I showed you how the game works. Now school's out.
Mr. Gecko, I'm there for you 110%.
No. You don't understand.
I want to be surprised. Astonish me, pal. New info. I don't care where or how you get it. Just get it.
Michael Douglas, Charlie Sheen. What's not to love? Remember when Charlie Sheen was a really great actor?
Oh, yes.
Seems an age ago
Gone
now.
are those days. Well, this one, you will have seen it. Please say you will have seen it.
Yeah.
And to be honest, if you haven't, don't worry about it. You've got it. It's 10 o'clock, Paramount. Make sure you catch it.
Oh, absolutely. So, what have we got for Thursday? I've got a nice action comedy with Ryan Reynolds and Sam Jackson for
I
you.
really enjoyed this. It's
I did as well.
The Hitman's Bodyguard, film for 9 o'clock. Really enjoyed it because Ryan Reynolds is now known for being Ryan Reynolds in movies, and it works.
It did,
every
because you have
single time.
Sam Jackson being quintessentially Sam Jackson.
Yeah.
Salma Hayek turned up to be quintessentially Salma Hayek.
For a small section of it, yeah. I think this is a good movie. It's one that probably fell by the wayside when it came out in the cinema.
Yeah.
Give it a watch. It's worth it. It might just surprise you.
And this next year, we get a sequel, The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard, to look forward to.
Nice.
I can't wait.
Nice.
But of course, we need a belter to finish the week on. And we've already had one great Michael Douglas movie.
Oh.
So why not have the original great Michael Douglas
Yeah,
movie?
I thought you were going to say it was going to be Falling Down this
Oh,
week. Yeah.
I love that one too.
Yes, I do.
I also like A Perfect Murder, strangely enough.
Yeah. War of the Roses.
Or, well, I mean, in my family at the moment, that movie's getting watched a lot.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Fatal Attraction, then. Adrian Lynn's, is he 87?
Yeah, I think
It's
around
87.
that time. Yeah.
Michael Douglas, Glenn Close, the original Bunny
Boiler.
I'm pregnant. I'm going to have our child.
Alex, that's your choice, honey. That has nothing to do with me.
I just want to be a part of your life.
Oh, this is the way you do it, huh? Showing up at my apartment?
What am I supposed to do? You won't answer my calls. You change your number. I mean, I'm not going to be ignored, Dan.
She won't be ignored, Dan.
No.
Oh.
Good Lord.
Remember
She
that
will
line
not
in
be ignored.
remember that line in Sleepless in Seattle when Tom Hanks tells his kid, "You ever see Fatal Attraction?" I did. Scare the crap out of every man in America. Great movie. That's on Channel 5 on Friday night, 11:05. Perfect. If you've been to the pub, chill out at the end of the night. And that one.
Go to sleep with some nice little nightmares.
Go to sleep with some. You'll never own a rabbit after this.
Yep.
And we're back for some home release. Well, home platform releases. Should we just say home platforms from now on?
All right.
Yeah, home platforms.
Anything you can watch it on, it's available, is the way you look at it.
Because I know I can see you die a little inside every time I say DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, I do. You're just ebbing away at me. It's awful.
Right.
Right, this week we've got a film we both loved.
Oh, this is one of my favourite films of the year. This is a film that just rocked me, just hardcore. I just loved this. I saw this on my birthday this year.
Yeah.
With an endless buffet of Pizza Express and loads of booze. It was the perfect way to see Hobbs and Shaw.
Yes, that sounds about right. In fact, I think at the screening that we watched it at, they were giving you loads of pizza.
They
and
kept
stuff.
giving us full Pizza
Yeah,
Express pizzas,
it's
didn't they?
amazing. It's amazing. This for me is a great one because you've got Jason. What's his name?
Statham.
The Staith. Sorry.
The Staith.
Can't believe I forgot that. You've got the Staith. You've got the Rock.
You got the Elba.
You got the Elba. You've got the Rock's mum in it.
You got Helen Mirren.
Yeah. We've got loads in this, and it all comes together. It's one of those films which I remember thinking, oh, and also Vanessa Kirby's in this, and she's very good at
I was going to touch on her, but
touch on her.
a man can dream. But I'm not saying I have a type. Anyway, this is to well, if Fast and Furious was Point Break to begin with,
yes,
this is Tango and Cash.
Yeah.
So this is the spin-off that just takes those two characters, one of whom seems to have an antagonistic relationship with more or less the entire rest of the main cast.
100%.
And he's just put them in their own adventure, and it's such a wonderful idea that in order to find someone that would require the combined talents of Jason Statham and The Rock, you had to make Idris Elba a cyborg Superman.
Oh yes.
Yeah, I tell you what. I mean, I love me some white knuckle car action exposition.
You want to tell me just what in the fresh turkey hell we're dealing with here?
Long story. It's a ghost. It's supposed to be dead. 8 years ago, I put a bullet through his brain.
Great. So we're being chased by the Terminator.
I don't think he's going to make it.
Well, I don't think you can see over the steering wheel.
Buckle up, fat boy. I'm going to save your life again.
Well, there we go. You've got action, you've got adventure, you've also got a moment which you think the film's going to end, and then it goes to Tonga.
I know. You do. You're like, are we done? Oh, we're gonna Samoa. Okay.
Yeah.
Which I didn't know is how you pronounce that. Apparently, I've always
Yeah.
called it Samoa.
Samoa,
Samoa.
Tonga, Samoa.
There are some cameos in this, aren't
Yeah,
there?
there
Ooh.
are. Yeah, there are.
Oh.
And I loved every moment of that
I did.
for its silliness. So watch it. It's on every platform available, and it's well worth your time.
Can I just point out, because you mentioned monkeys earlier,
Yeah.
right? If that, in our clip, if you listen to the song in the background, that is Idris Elba's theme song to this movie. I've listened to this soundtrack a billion times.
Brilliant.
It is called When I Die, Even If I Die, and it includes the brilliant lyrics, I've got a good side, I've got a bad side, I've got a monkey on my back, and I call it Brian. The rest of the lyrics are relevant to the plot, but that specifically is not. I think it's
Amazing.
incredible.
Amazing. Okay, moving on. We've got The Intruder.
Oh, this one.
I haven't seen it. You tell me.
Right. Once a year, Sony puts out a movie, right?
Okay.
And it is aimed specifically at African-American audiences. And it's basically a sort of trashy 90-minute R-rated thriller.
Yeah.
This is the one for this year. Okay, usually they star Taraji P. Henson or Idris Elba. This year, it's Michael Ealy.
Okay.
And it's Michael Ealy, I think Megan Good.
Okay.
Whom I adore. And ever since Think Like a Man. But the premise of this one is Michael Ealy or Ealy, Zara told me it's pronounced the wrong way, apparently, other than what I do. They are a young, successful, sexy, professional couple who get this wonderful house in the country that they buy from a recently widowed man played by Dennis Quaid. But guess what? He's a psycho and he ain't leaving without a fight.
Hey! Hey!
This guy.
Randall! Stop drilling holes in my house!
Hey, whoa. Keep working.
What the hell are you doing?
Keep working. What are you doing here?
When I was down the road, I was fishing, I saw this security van go by. You been having a problem?
Look, I got a prowler in the woods.
It's high school kids. They sneak out into these woods and they party after dark. This is not necessary.
What is necessary is that I protect my wife.
Hey, Randall, be careful with these vines. It took 50 years for these things to grow in the house. Okay, Mr. Beck.
It's not your house.
Psycho, ladies and gentlemen.
Isn't there a Michael Douglas film that's like this?
There's a Michael Douglas one. There's a Sam Jackson one. There's I'm sure there's a Ray Liotta one.
Yeah.
There's one of these for everyone's done this one.
Okay.
It's great. It's great to do it, but I mean,
How's this stack up?
It's a boy. Put it this way, I could show this to my mum and she'd love it. I'd sit there and go, a bit middle of the road, isn't it?
Fair enough.
It's like you'd watch this on telly, 90-minute game. It's perfect for like Sky Cinema.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect for that. If you see it on Amazon Prime or something like that, you're absolutely going to watch it. As I said, this is hitting home platforms this week. Whether or not, I think it is premium VOD.
Okay.
So you won't be able to just put it on Netflix as yet, I don't think.
Probably not. Probably for the best, to be honest.
But, it's a disposable watch. You will watch it and you'll think, that was fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
But,
Oh, good. Okay, well, moving on to streaming. We've got, there's loads of stuff out this week as well. And we're going into the Christmas movie round. But before we do that, we're going to kick off with A Private War.
Well, this is it, because we've got two really buzzy awards contenders from this past year are landing on Netflix this week. So let's say Private War is one.
Yeah.
We'll get to them in a moment. But Private War, I was amazed this didn't get nominated for
This
anything.
is Rosamund Pike.
Rosamund Pike as Marie Colvin, who was the British
this.
war journalist. You'll famously remember for being so iconic with the eye patch.
Yeah.
And
she was sadly killed in an explosion.
Was, yeah. But there was also a documentary about her about a year before this, which was based on a book by Paul Conroy, her frequent collaborator and photographer.
Yeah.
This is the fictionalized retelling in which Rosamund Pike really goes for it.
David Blundy.
Who?
David Blundy.
What about him?
Left for the Telegraph before you joined. I took his job.
What is your point?
And he was killed 2 years later in San Salvador. Jao Silva. Lost both legs at the knee in Kandahar while working for the New York Times. I was with him in Afghanistan. Safa Abu Saif.
Who did he work for?
She was a 12-year-old Palestinian girl. Killed by a stray bullet that pierced her heart. She was wearing pearl earrings. She probably thought she looked pretty that day. I see it. So you don't have to.
She really does. And actually, it's a powerhouse performance. I think Was this out this year in the cinemas?
This was one of this year. This and our next one were this year's awards contenders. They were very, very early this year.
Yeah.
But I was astonished that this didn't even get any kind of Best Actress recognition
No,
for
but
her.
she
was tremendous.
She is tremendous in this, and it's a hard role to play, and it takes a lot of guts to play this kind of role. So it's well worth a watch. If you're interested in the works of Mary Colvin anyway, and her, the write-ups that she did, and you followed it, and to find more out about her fictionalized life in this movie, then A Private War is for you. Moving on, we've got Mid-90s. I haven't seen Mid-90s.
Have you not? This was Jonah Hill's directorial debut. He'd also written it. A very likeable film, very funny, but I think it does have a certain... I noticed in our screening in particular, when we had the press show, that it seemed to go over a lot better with male critics than it did female ones.
Oh, I see.
Specifically, male critics of a very certain age. So if you were of the age to have enjoyed the Mid-90s as a teenager, it's like, you and I kind of...
I think we were young teens.
Pretty young teens, but but the character is, to be honest, this is like a 13-ish year old boy, and it's that first set of sort of teen friends you make, the wayward, rebellious friends, all about skateboarding culture in the 90s in Southern California, and how that intersects with your first kiss and the music at the time, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles bed sheets and things like that.
Oh, amazing! Maybe I'll catch that. Amazing. So
that's very worth it.
That's on Netflix from Sunday.
From Sunday the 1st, as is Private War. Yeah, but you know what is coming to Netflix, and this is hugely anticipated, I'm told, because the first movie was something of a weird sleeper hit, right?
Okay.
So we're now getting a sequel.
You tell me.
Okay, we're getting a sequel. Is A Christmas Prince, The Royal Baby, on Netflix from Thursday the 5th of December.
And we're going to end the show now.
Well, that's it. I mean, I know nothing of Christmas Prince.
No, me either.
It became a gag because Netflix put it on their Twitter feed that, thanks to their server monitoring, they knew that one Netflix member had watched it something like 832 times.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and they asked, who hurt you? But it did become a weird sort of... It's one of those trashy Christmas films, like that Vanessa Hudgens one.
Yeah, I
Christmas
love that
Night,
Vanessa
we talked about the other week. Like one of those where it appeals to people who just want to...
Tis the season. From this weekend, tis the season.
Put the slanket on, get the quality street, make yourself a hot chocolate, and whack on the Christmas Prince and Royal Baby.
There we go.
But
that is it. I mean, that is what a way to end the show.
Oh,
is
absolutely.
On that film.
Should we have a quick gander at what we got next week? Because we've got some interesting stuff.
We've got Edward Norton's new film, haven't we?
Yeah, Motherless Brooklyn.
Yes, I'm very much looking forward to that. Honey Boy is out next week as well.
Shia LaBeouf,
yeah. Lucy in the Sky as well.
Natalie Portman.
There we go. So we've got a whole big selection. And actually, Van, if you're anything like me, we're watching all three of those on Monday.
Oh yeah, I think so. That's the intention.
Yeah.
But in the meanwhile, that's a goodbye from me then. I've been Van Connor.
And I've been Becks Perfect, and you've been watching Off Screen. Stay with us. We'll be back next week.